I need help!
Last time I played Insurgency Sandstorm was all the way back in October 2022, so quite some time ago. I was therefore looking forward to go back into the game in order to see how the game is doing now in 2024. I played quite a lot of Insurgency that was released on Steam in 2014, which was a follow-up game to the award-winning Source mod. But when Insurgency Sandstorm was released at the end of December 2018, I got a bit disappointed at first. Especially also since the game was laggy and didn't play that well initially, and there was also bugs in the game, something that has been a bit of a problem at later date as well. I played Insurgency Sandstorm on and off after that and never really got into the game in the same way as I did when it comes to the first Insurgency game. But now, time has passed, which also means that there's been plenty of time to improve the game. When it comes to the strengths of Insurgency Sandstorm, I have to mention the sweet combo of tactical close quarter combat, but also team-based objective-oriented gameplay. And the game is hardcore and can be unforgivingly lethal, and for sure also be highly competitive. But the cool thing, due to its nature and different game modes, is that Insurgency Sandstorm can also feel a bit casual and relaxed in between, which means that the game can be interesting and also attract a variety of FPS gamers with different background and experiences. It's not very often, at least not nowadays, that you find a game that manages to have this kind of mix and experience within the same game, but Insurgency Sandstorm pulls that one off pretty well. When it comes to game modes, there's some to choose from for sure. The game features 3 core game modes, you might say, which is co-op, versus, and competitive. And each game mode has a number of different game types that can be chosen from. In this video, I'm playing a mix of game modes, and one of them is co-op, which is a PvE, meaning player versus environment mode. And in this mode, you and several other players, real players that is, try to take objective points from the enemy. And when the objective is taken, either the next objective opens or you are told to defend objective from an incoming counterattack. And in the co-op mode, you can choose from the checkpoint security mode or checkpoint insurgents mode. This can be both fun and challenging, even though you might be an experienced FPS gamer, especially since the AI aren't the type of AI that just serves as cannon fodder, meaning that they do actually shoot back, and since it's a hardcore game, you can drop pretty fast if you aren't careful enough. So maybe the co-op mode can be a good start if you haven't played Insurgency Sandstorm before or games alike. And then you might want to look into the versus mode, which is a team-based PvP, meaning player versus player mode, where you play as either the security or the insurgents faction in 3 different game modes: push, firefight, and skirmish. And these are all objective game modes of some sort. The competitive game mode features 2 teams of 5 battling out against each other in the firefight game mode. After playing 10 placement matches, the player will be placed into a rank based on their performance. And the idea of this mode is to provide players with a more competitive environment where they get the chance to play with and against players of equal caliber. And if you're interested in the rank system, there's 5 tiers of ranks, with each rank having 5 levels. I think you are familiar with this when it comes to having bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond in the game. The core, though, is of course it's hardcore gunplay, and I've always enjoyed that in Insurgency games. I believe there's 8 classes within Insurgency Sandstorm, such as Commander, Observer, Rifleman, Breacher, Gunner, Demolition, Advisor, and Marksman, so there's quite some variation within the game depending on what class you choose to play, and of course also what gun you choose to use alongside with the different gadgets as well. Very often people tend to find a class or 2 maybe that they prefer to play after some time spent in the game. So with that said, what's your favorite class or gun for that sake in Insurgency Sandstorm? As mentioned, time has passed and therefore improvements has been made in the game, although I had to adjust video settings in the game when starting it up all over again, since I did have a better graphics card back in 2022 when I played the game the last time. Yep, I'm playing the game on PC, but if you are a console player, you can play the game on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series XS. I don't know how the game runs on consoles, so if you are playing Insurgency Sandstorm on a console, then please leave some feedback in the comments. Even though I mentioned the laggy first experience shortly after the game was released, Insurgency Sandstorm received critical acclaim for its realistic gameplay, level design, sound design, atmosphere, graphics and fluid animations, but again, it was also criticized for its technical issues and optimization, with some lamenting the cancellation of the planned story campaign. So with that said, this game has still up to this day very positive reviews on Steam if you go over and check it out there. So, however, some core Insurgency players have said or meant that the developers were too slow and insufficient when it comes to fixing these performance issues such as optimization and bugs in the game, and that it killed off the franchise. I'm not sure if I would go that far and say that, but especially since Insurgency Sandstorm, even though it has a small player base, and that has been the case more or less from the start, it seems to be doing pretty okay also in 2024. So let's take a quick look into the Steam charts just to get a hint when it comes to active players on Steam at least. In August 2022, there was around 2,900 players on average. And if we then go all the way up and check out the last 30 days here in 2024, we can see that the game has around 2,000 players on average. That's not too bad considering that 1.5 years has passed when it comes to this comparison. And since I've been doing a lot of similar videos when it comes to other older games, you might say, I can say that some of them aren't able to keep the player base alive as Insurgency Sandstorm. So is Insurgency Sandstorm a good game and maybe worth your time as well in 2024? Well, I believe so, because the gunplay is good and the customization possibilities are also good, and the mix of game modes are good, even though I know that there's always a wish for more, and especially from players that has invested a lot of time in the game already. Well, the graphics are okay and the audio is great, and it's therefore easy to understand where people are at when it comes to location just by listening to the actual game audio, something that a lot of newer FPS titles has been struggled to achieve. So yeah, there's quite a lot of player value I would say in Insurgency Sandstorm that will keep you busy for some time, especially if you also decide to play for a rank in competitive as well. Are there cheaters in the game? Most likely yes. There's always cheaters in an online game nowadays, isn't it? But since I don't play Insurgency Sandstorm on a regular basis, I can't really tell if there's like many or just a few. Maybe you have an experience when it comes to cheaters or not in the game. Please let me know. As said early on, I still believe that Insurgency from 2014 is an overall better game, but Insurgency Sandstorm definitely has its moments, and I can see myself playing the game from time to time also now. What about you then? What are your thoughts and experiences when it comes to Insurgency Sandstorm? Do you like it, and are you maybe still playing the game also now in 2024? I appreciate your thoughts and feedback, and I'll try to answer the comments as much as I can. With that said, thanks a lot for watching. And of course, if you enjoyed, please give a like on the video since it helps me out here on YouTube, and I do hope to talk to you soon again in an upcoming video. Cheers and later!